This presentation will be over incorporating study skills into developmental math classes. The program was created by Jessica Bernards of Portland Community College and Mark DeSmet of Cabrillo College. So first, let's start with a little bit of history and background. We found there was a higher calling to increase student success in developmental math classes. When we looked into why students weren't succeeding, we found that one of the biggest reasons is that they lacked the study skills needed for success. So we wanted to create a program that was geared specifically for math study skills, but where the loss of class time was minimal. An overview of the program. There are 7 topics: how learning math is different, time management, how to study for an exam, resources, homework, how to be an effective listener and how to take notes, and math and test anxiety. Each lesson is broken into 3 parts. First, the students watch a video. You can either have students do this outside of class, or you can have them do this in class as a whole group. After they've watched the video, they go through and they complete a student worksheet. Every student worksheet contains an inspirational quote or a quote that deals with mathematics. So for example, in the first worksheet, it talks about how success in math does not depend on how many answers you know, but what you do when you don't know the answer. Each worksheet has 2 to 3 questions that students will answer to ensure that they've actually watched the video and to help them reflect on what they've learned. Additionally, we put in 2 student quotes for each worksheet that come from students that have gone through this program and have become successful math students. We wanted to do this so students wouldn't just hear us telling them what to do and how to be a better student, but also they're hearing it from their peers as well. The third component for each topic is the class discussion or class activity. Each topic has a class activity or discussion that we've created that you can do in your class. This should take at the most 10 minutes to do. It kind of helps you reflect as a whole group on what the topic was about. It also helps students build relationships with each other, and it helps bring the study skills topics into the context of the actual math class. You can find all of the information about the Math Study Skills program on the following website. Additionally, on that website, you'll find a little overview about the program, all of the links to the videos, the workbooks for both the instructor and the teacher, and contact information if you have any suggestions or comments that you'd like to share with Mark or I. This website is completely accessible for students. There's some multiple ways that we found teachers have implemented this program into their classroom. One way is to cover 1 to 2 topics per week at the beginning of the term, counted as part of a homework or participation grade. The one thing we have found is that this does need to be counted as part of the grade. If not, students won't do it. So the way that we originally planned this program is that students would go outside of class, they'd watch the video on their own, and all of the videos are only 5 to 7 minutes long, and they'd create the worksheet. Then they'd come back to class, and you would spend about 5 to 10 minutes going over the class activity for that topic to just kind of bring it all together, and the students would turn in the worksheet for credit. Some teachers found that doing 1 topic a week was great, and that would make it a 7-week program. Other teachers wanted to get more of the concepts done before students took their first midterm, and so they did 2 concepts per week, which worked out incredibly well as well. I don't recommend doing more than 2 topics a week though, because it's a lot for students to kind of change what they're doing habit-wise, and you don't want to pile too much on them at once or they won't be able to stick to those habits. Another thing that some higher level classes have done is they actually pick 4 out of the 7 topics to complete, and they let the students do the picking of that. And that way students have a choice in which topics they want to explore, and they take a little bit more ownership into that, and they're done in 4 weeks. And then the last thing, and I really recommend this if you teach very low developmental math classes, is to actually do everything in class if you can find the time to do it. It's only 7 times that you'll lose class time to go over this program, and if you show the videos in class, that only tacks on an extra 5 to 7 minutes. So in total, you'll lose about 15 to 20 minutes 7 times. I found that with the lower level students, that even if I had them go and do this on their own and I counted it as part of a homework grade, those like 2 or 3 students that really needed this program, didn't do it still. But when I brought it into the class, everyone had to watch the video. It was part of their participation grade, and it actually got some really great lively class discussions. And then lastly, if you're teaching an online class, you can bring this in too. And instead of worksheets and in-class activities, use the discussion board to create a class discussion on the topics. So in the spring, we actually did a pilot on this and collected some data. So here's the results from the data to see if this actually would make a difference in pass rates. And so we had 5 instructors pilot the program and they returned data. And what we had them do is they compared data from 2 identical classes, one that used the Study Skills program and one that did not. Other than the Study Skills programs, the classes were run exactly the same. And what we found is that those classes that used the Study Skills program had on average a 10% higher pass rate, which is huge, 3% higher overall grades, and 3% higher final exam grades. So not only did more students end up passing the class, but they passed them with higher grades. And additionally, we gave all of the students a survey to take, and this is where I found the most interesting because it was an anonymous survey, and they could easily go through and say, no, we shouldn't use this, or yes, we should. And you know how developmental math students are. A lot of the times, if they don't have to do extra work, they don't want to. But what I was surprised with is that 89% of them said that they think the program should be used and actually required in all developmental math courses. And as one student put it helped me develop skills needed to succeed in college. So that's the program. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation and hopefully you'll use this. I'll show the website one more time for where you can find it.